This is Andrew Tate. Today we're going to talk about how Andrew Tate manages to stay in shape year-round, whether he's natural or not. And whether you love him or you hate him, you can't deny the fact that he is in fantastic shape. And so how we can take some of his same ideas and apply them to our lives to see if we can stay in shape. And I'm going to do all this like true Andrew Tate fashion and do so while smoking a cigar. Now, for those that don't know, I am a bit of a cigar enthusiast. So am I making this video to try and clickbait it a bit and have an excuse to smoke a cigar? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. When it comes to smoking a cigar, you want to take your time while lighting it. It's like foreplay. Now, in order to get an idea of what Andrew Tate does for his diet and regimen and how he stays in shape, let's first hear how he eats from the man himself.
Is basically living on 85 to 90% of what you eat has to be meat. No rice, no pasta, no big plates of chips or any carbs like that, just meat.
Now, inherently, what Andrew is talking about right here is actually a keto diet. You eat little to no carbs as possible so your body produces ketones. So essentially, your body is running off its own fat for energy. And some benefits of a ketogenic diet is that people have described that they have had more mental clarity while doing it.
The way I feel is completely different.
You actually have more energy.
More energy. You know,
they've lost a lot of weight. And a lot of this weight actually comes off in the very beginning because what you're doing, you're eliminating carbohydrates from your diet, is you're actually eliminating a lot of glycogen as well. You see, with every gram of carb, you store around 3 grams of water. So when you eliminate carbs from the diet, you actually eliminate a lot of water weight as well. So a lot of people will lose weight quite quickly when they hop on a ketogenic diet, and it's all due to a lot of water weight.
So I started losing body fat. Like I was always in good shape. I was always like Hercules, you know.
Right.
But now I started to really, like, my six-pack really came out. And I was like, this is crazy.
So are you really losing fat initially when you hop on this diet? No, not entirely, but you do see a noticeable difference. When I go on prep for a show, and during my peak week, I actually go keto the last week of my prep, mainly peak week, to try and peak my physique. And that is because it definitely changes your physique in a very short amount of time by eliminating the water weight and essentially becoming as flat as a pancake. Now, when you have excess amount of body fat, you don't really notice it, but when you're show ready, it's pretty noticeable. So that is something that he has definitely described in his past. He has talked about getting a lot of his calories mainly from meat, eating as much of it as possible, having a very high protein, high fat diet. And to an extent, it's true, meat does provide a lot of micronutrients.
And what you do is you eat lots of fatty meat, because the fat in the meat has all the vitamins. So you can actually change to 100% meat. You don't need fruit, vegetables, bread. You can go completely meat. If you eat fatty meat, the fat's gonna have all the vitamins you need.
Especially when you get some through like organs, like liver, heart, you know, those types of meats. You know, that's why the Liver King isn't completely off when he says liver is king. It really is a superfood.
For breakfast, lunch, and dinner, because liver is king.
But I would also say there's nothing wrong with having a balance of fruits and vegetables in your diet as well. Now, Andrew Tate's extremely active as well. He trains pretty much every day, whether it's some form of boxing or kickboxing, sparring with his cousin or his brother. Feeling a little roughed up from that, then he definitely is doing some type of weight training, whether it's calisthenics or with actual weights. And I don't know if you've seen that video of him with Mike Thurston, but he's actually quite strong. However, Andrew has been known to have a bit of a sweet tooth, eat a bit of junk food. He even admits to not really having the best diet sometimes. And I know when he likes to fly on his private planes, he likes to have some donut and pizzas, which definitely is not in the keto diet. So the question is really, how does he stay in shape? You know, there isn't really a consistency when it comes to his exact meal plan and what he has. It seems to vary from day to day. And for someone in his 30s that does as much traveling he does and the lifestyle that he lives, the amount of drinking he does, the amount of cigars he smokes, he is in fantastic shape. Some might even describe it as almost unnatural. Now, for the explanation of why Andrew is able to stay lean pretty much year-round is actually quite easy. It all revolves around the law of thermodynamics. In simple terms, it's calories in versus calories out. And if you want to get technical with it, it's heat in versus heat out. However, whether you eat pizza and donuts on your private planes or you're eating salads and very healthy foods, the idea of calories in versus calories out is the same. It's basically that no matter what you do, as long as you are eating less calories than you burn on a day-to-day basis, then it's going to allow you to keep fat off the body, allow you to stay within a reasonable weight range, and really, if you're consistent with your workouts, stay in shape year-round. And you know, this is even a concept that Andrew even understands himself.
All about calories in, calories out. There's nothing wrong with a big bucket of greasy fried chicken.
And how does Andrew Tate really do this if he does eat very high calorically dense foods from time to time, you know, such as pizza and donuts? Well, his daily regimen consists of him waking up and actually not eating any food whatsoever. He really only eats maybe 1 to 2 times a day. He likes to go about his day relatively hungry, he says, which to me is absurd. I like going about my day while I'm feeling quite satisfied, but to each their own. And really all he's doing the first half of his day is he's drinking pretty much sparkling water, black coffee. It's kind of what he lives off of. And then when it comes to dinner time, he'll have his one big meal where he might crush anywhere between 2,000 to 3,000 calories, mainly consisting of protein, except of course when he's flying on his private jets and he's having his donuts and pizza. Not sushi though. That is important.
There's no power in sushi. You're telling me you're gonna get power from sushi? A little piece of floppy fish, some rice in a circle. What's wrong with you? What kind of full-grown adult deliberately, not on accident, deliberately eats sushi?
And by him fasting every day, it allows him to keep his calories quite low, despite him even eating high-calorie dense foods. Again, it all comes back down to the calories in versus calories out portion. And this concept isn't new. This is what I use for all my clients if they want to try and lose weight. All I do is simply put them in a calorie deficit, whether if that's through activity or restricting calories or somewhat of a version of both. That's really all it comes down to when you want to lose fat and you want to get into shape. How you go about that is completely your own prerogative. So if you want to fast most of the day, eat 1 or 2 meals, by all means, if it works for you, it works for you. It's not really my style, but that's what he prefers and that's what he does to stay in shape. Do I think he could be bigger and build more muscle if he ate a bit more often throughout the day? Yeah, absolutely. I think he can build more muscle. But as long as he's happy with his physique and the way he looks, then that's all that matters. Now let's get to the juicy part of this video. Is Andrew Tate natural? Now, if I had to take a guess, like my life depended on it, and someone asked me, is Andrew Tate natural? Yes or no? If my life depended on it, I would go with the answer of no. Okay, I'm at the part where I said I think Andrew Tate isn't natural. What I meant to say was he is natural. What I think happened was in my head, I phrased it like, is Andrew Tate enhanced? And I meant to say no to he's not enhanced, he's natural. That's not how I said it when I'm like looking back at the footage. So long story short, do I think Andrew Tate is natural? I meant to say, yes, he is natural. No, he's not enhanced. So before anyone gets angry with the clip, which you maybe already are if you've seen it, that part, and you think, what the heck? I think he's natural. Just know that I meant to say I think he's natural. That was my fault. His physique over the years really hasn't drastically changed. Always been a fairly lean individual because he was a kickboxer in the past. He's definitely added on more muscle post his career, but that's fairly normal considering that you had to like lose a bunch of weight and try and make weight for certain fights. And him being able to be in a calorie surplus or eat close to his maintenance is going to allow him to build muscle since his retirement. I don't think he's anything of the abnormal where if you look at him, you think this guy's on gear. Now, a lot of people can take gear and not look like they're on gear, but you also have to kind of look at them throughout the years. Has there been any big fluctuations in their physique? Or have they always kind of stayed the same and have a natural progression? And to me, throughout the years, he seems to have a very natural progression. Now, he's still in his 30s, which I think if you're a male and you're natural, you can still maintain a very, very good physique naturally in your 30s, such as Andrew Tate has. It'd be interesting to see where he is in his 40s and his 50s, and if maybe TRT is something he might look into. In which, if I'm being honest, if I had his money and I wanted to still keep my edge and train hard and feel great, I would not hesitate to go on to TRT. So that's my personal opinion and answers the question of whether or not I think Andrew Tate is natural or not. I think he is. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Do you hate him or you love him? He has found a system that works for him that allows him to stay in shape year round, something that he enjoys, and for him, if he doesn't enjoy it, he simply doesn't care. He just does the work anyways. If you're trying to get into shape, I recommend following a regimen that you enjoy and can stick with for the life. But I think to some degree, he definitely enjoys, working out, pushing himself, staying in shape and doing what is needed to do that. I think to some degree, you have to enjoy the process because if you don't, there's no way you can stick with it long term. Your discipline can only go so far. I'm going to finish this cigar and I'm also going to wrap the video up here. Leave a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. Peace.